I married my high school crush. Sweet, right? Very sweet. And it was very sweet for a long time, for a number of years. But sometimes life has a way of sweeping us into corners that are just so dark, not even hope can escape. And so at the end of a spectacularly bad 26th anniversary weekend, just shy of my 50th birthday, I found myself suddenly single. To quote Nancy Myers, I never dated all that much or all that well, but about a year into my singlehood, I started thinking maybe I should date again. I still believed in love and I liked the idea of having a partner, so all right, let's do this. Step one, how do you do this? Clueless, right? Now, I spent a fair amount of my career in cybersecurity, and as a result, you will not find a Ring doorbell or a smart speaker or a smart thermostat on my home network. I'm a cyber safety girl. We know this about me, right? So the idea of online dating, where identity thieves and serial killers are cleverly disguised as eligible bachelors, really wasn't going to be in my comfort zone. But I'm a people person. I have deep existential conversations with complete strangers in the checkout line at Walmart. We know this about me too. So I'm thinking, how hard could it be? Let people know, put yourself out there, meet some people, and date. Spoiler alert, it's a little bit hard. First step, let people know I'm interested in dating and see if anybody knows anyone. And for the first 2 or 3 years of my dating project, I met a lot of really nice men. I braved a number of very well-intended setups, and some of them were very nice and some of them were, really interesting, but nothing was really going anywhere. Had a lot of first dates, not a lot of second dates, and my typically relentless positivity was kind of failing a little bit. And then one fateful morning, I get up, I look in the mirror, and I see Mitch McConnell's neck looking back at me. And that, coupled with my pre-existing Estelle Getty aesthetic, and I'm starting to feel a little bit desperate, and I'm thinking, okay, it's time to take professional action. If you have not been part of an intake process for an executive level matchmaking service, let me tell you what, you have not known pressure. Top secret SCI full scope polygraph investigations are less intimidating. Nevertheless, I persisted. And I went through the interviews and I submitted the applications and the fingerprints and the financial disclosures and, the blood of my children and so on and so forth. And about 2 weeks later, I get a message that I have my first date. This is great. And then I get a call from my very elite, personalized concierge professional matchmaker. We're gonna call her Karen. Lisa, I swear to you, this is a woman's voice. Lisa, have I got a match for you? He's a nice man. He's technical. He's whatever you people do with the technology, I don't know. But you'll be able to talk to each other. This is going to be good. Listen, I'm going to make a reservation, Olive Garden. About midway between your two homes. You'll meet there. And I'm thinking, with all that financial disclosure stuff, I truly did expect something a little bit more upper crust. But first of all, we all know that I am fashion impaired, but even I have Olive Garden clothes, right? So the pressure's off because at least I don't have to worry about what to wear. Plus, endless pasta bowl. I'm all about it. I show up, I'm early, it's me, and as directed, I tell the hostess that Karen sent me, and she walks me back to a table, and there's a gentleman already seated, very nervous looking. He's kind of got like a thin sheen of flop sweat already starting. And I'm thinking, all right, we got this. He's even more nervous than I am. This is cool. We can totally do this. We got this. So we shake very clammy hands. We sit down, we order our meals, and we start with the usual conversation, right? So, you know, do you have kids? What do you do for work? Do you travel a lot? That sort of thing. And as I mentioned previously, I can have conversations with nearly inanimate objects, and I get nothing out of this guy. There's just nothing going on, very little eye contact, monosyllabic, monotone kind of answers. All right, you know what? I am not everyone's cup of tea, and this is clearly not a match, but endless pasta bowl. So now I'm kind of trolling around mentally because I got to think of something to talk about because it's just way too awkward sitting there, even though I'm totally stuffing my face. And I think of dogs. Everybody's got a dog story, right? You love dogs, you hate dogs, you're allergic to dogs, you've been bitten by a dog. Everybody has a dog story. Jackpot. Match lights up. He's all excited, and he starts to regale me with tales of his Chihuahuaranian named Prissy Poo. And I heard all about how he got the dog when, you know, the dog was just 8 weeks old, and they failed basic training together, and the two of them still laughed together about the fact that they failed basic training. And they traveled a lot together. They were just inseparable, had a great time. And it turns out that Match's elderly mom lived with them. So if he needed to go on work travel or something like that, totally cool. The dog stayed home with grandma. But other than that, the dog was with him. He tells me that Prissy Poo's favorite treat is the McDonald's McRib sandwich. Now, some of you may know, apparently these things are only available on occasion and only at participating restaurants. So it's a very exclusive kind of a thing. So Match very excitedly tells me that he has gotten the McDonald's McRib locator app. I checked afterwards, it really is a thing. So he's got the locator app so he can get updates and alerts if there's a McRib within a couple of hours of the house. Prissy gets shotgun, and off they go. So I'm kind of vibing. I'm a little bit weirded out, but okay. All right, you know, I'm hearing it. This is great. And he stops to take a sip of water, and I said, oh, this is so nice to hear. This is really sweet. I'm a big dog person, too. I mean, literally big dogs, but anyway. So how old is she? And the veil comes back down, and the monotone returns. Prissy is a boy. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My bad, totally my mistake. I never should have guessed the gender based on the name. I'm so sorry. I feel bad. So how old is he? Prissy Poo died when he was 17. Now, talking about VCRs, do you remember the sound if you were rewinding a tape on high speed on your VCR? Remember that sound? That's what was going on in my head. And I could have let it go, but I couldn't let it go. So I'm so confused. Clearly, I missed a really vital plot point to the story. You were speaking about Prissy in the present tense. You said that you had given the dog a good grooming just last week before you took a trip to go and visit friends, and now I'm starting to really escalate. And I said, and you said you sleep with the dog every night. Of course I do. I had Prissy taxidermied when he died 5 years ago. And we're out. Now, many of you know me. I am very rarely speechless. Very rarely speechless. I had nothing. And it was probably just as well because I was able to not ask the burning Norman Bates question about the elderly mom who lived with him. Instead, I signaled to the waitress, you know, the way that a drowning person in the middle of the ocean would signal to a passing ship. And as she's walking over, I managed to squeak out, "Check, please." So she starts coming over closer with the check, and Match says, "Karen told me I'm supposed to pay the check." So I jump up, said, "Thank you for dinner." And I hightailed it out of the restaurant. I managed to keep it together until I got into the car, but then it was done. Absolute maniacal, hysterical laughter while I'm peeling out of the parking lot because I don't want this guy to see what kind of car I drive, right? Took me a good 10, 15 minutes to calm down. Finally get it together, and as directed, I call Karen. "Lisa, you're calling very early, very early. How did it go?" And what I really wanted to do was scream, "What the were you thinking?" And the whole point of this ridiculous, professional, cleared, super secret squirrel matchmaking service was that you were supposed to weed out the serial killers. But instead, I managed to just take a deep breath and say, "Yeah, I still haven't met my soulmate." And here's the thing, that's okay, it's all good. Because a decade plus into my singlehood, I am very content at home with my parrot and my dogs, all of whom I am required to report are very much alive.
We'll go up, up,